What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 32, and we start today's episode off with some player training where, as you can see, I took out one of Godfrey's 2 drills. That was his passing drill, and gave a finishing drill to Ivan Toney. And also look at our transfer budget as well, as we're about to enter transfer deadline day. £3.7 million, or around £3.5 to £3.7 million currently in our transfer budget right now. So not sure we'll do too much business on deadline day, but there's a little bit of room to work with. And also Chris Basham is indeed going to leave on a free transfer come the end of the season. He's off to that Turkish side whose name I'll never be able to pronounce, but he's off to the Super League regardless, and I'm totally fine with that. Again, Basham, 32 years old now, 72 rated, 5th choice centre half, and with Nathan Wood waiting in the wings as our 6th choice centre half. Next year, if he was to stay, he probably would be our 6th choice centre back. So yeah, Basham's going to go. He was always going to leave on a free transfer anyway, and it's nice to see him get a bag in Turkey for next year. But still, first game of today's episode, as you're welcome, Huddersfield Town here, back at Bramwell Lane on the back of back-to-back away games. First our defeat to Manchester City, and then of course last weekend the 1-1 draw away against the Championship side Norwich City in the FA Cup 4th round. Taking on the Terriers, as we know right now, just 3 points in the Premier League season all year long. Rock bottom of the table, losing 23 of 24 games. How would we start off? Absolutely terribly. First, Aaron Moy smashing a shot just wide the post. That was a warning side from the Aussie there. And then just past the half an hour mark, the Terriers would get in front. Great save by Henderson. We've seen this so many times. Rebound goals. Tried to clear the ball with Egan. Couldn't do so on time. And Jonathan Hogg reacts quickest. And the Town skipper makes it 1-0 to the visitors. We are behind to the side who have lost 23 out of 24 games. I wasn't going to stand for that, and that's why there was relief just before the break. Right before half time, Ivan Toney sent forward, puts the ball into the back of the net, and that's now his 2nd goal, or perhaps 3rd goal even, since returning from that 2-month injury at the start of the month. So at the break, tied at 1-1 against the side right now, who again have lost 23 out of 24 Premier League games. I was thinking we've got to respond in the second half, got to pick it up after a terrible first half display. Well, just before the hour mark, Huddersfield Town had a brilliant chance to get back in front. Lovely build-up play, and if it wasn't for Dean Henderson making a fabulous stop on the 1-on-1, they would have been back in front. So still 1-1, but a chance for us to take lead for the first time in the game here as George Bulldog storms down the right-hand side. Great opportunity for the right back, keeps on running, goes for goal, and smacks the woodwork as the Town get it away. Still 1-1, and 10 minutes later, what a chance for Huddersfield to get back in front. The Akabi through to Aaron Moy, and again, it's Dean Henderson pulling off the heroics. And if it wasn't for our number 1 in this game, we would have been behind by not just 1 goal, but 2 or 3. Last chance falls to the visitors. Bakuna striking this shot wide, and come the final whistle, you can see the fans' reactions here. There is no hiding place for yours truly. There is no excuse for those players on the pitch. Final score, Sheffield United 1, Huddersfield Town 1. They dominated possession, they had more pass accuracy, more shots as well, and really, they should have won this game. They were the better team, and they should have left with all 3 points, not just the 1. But it's their 4th point of the Premier League campaign, and whilst our home form has been shaky of late, I'll be the first to admit it, we've not been playing well at Bramwell Lane. There is no excuse whatsoever for not putting the whipping boys of the Premier League to bed. 4 points on the board now for the Town as they try and avoid that unwanted record that Derby County possess of lowest points in a Premier League season ever, with what I got wrong a couple episodes ago. It's 11 Derby County had. Huddersfield Town now got 4, but either way, terrible performance there. That should have been an easy 3 points. Instead, we're lucky to get the 1. Anyway, following that, it was time for transfer deadline day. As you would have seen at the start of the episode, there was a little bit of money remaining on our bank balance, but not a lot. However, we did decide to try and make 1 signing. Due to the injury problems we've had this season, and most of our injuries coming to our central midfielders, I tried to pick up Ross McCrory from Rangers, a name that you guys are throwing around in the comments quite a bit. Now, I must say, I only knew about this guy from playing Football Manager last year. In my Cardiff save, he did really well. Ended up going to Chelsea, and I believe possibly Juventus, I think it was, he ended up moving on to. So clearly this guy's got a bright future ahead of him. In real life right now, he's on loan at Fratton Park, playing for Portsmouth in League One. But in the game, back at Ibrox, 22 years old, 71 rated, and as you can see, we had a valuation bid of £3.5 million accepted for him. And again, you would have noticed he wanted a wage decrease, which which, let's be honest here, if a player's going to make the jump to the Premier League, he's not going to ask for a wage decrease, is he? So I gave him what he's on right now. I think it was 21.5 grand a week, and right now he's 22 years old, lots of room to grow, and what I really like about this kid is that physically he's the complete package. He's 6'3", he's versatile, can play holding mid, central mid, and also centre back as well, plus right back too, and at £3.5 million, you know, 85 sprint speed, 85 aggression, 83 stamina, 82 acceleration, 82 strength, and 75 jumping. You can tell this guy physically is where he excels. His physicality is what makes him a really good footballer, and I think he's got a very bright future now here at Bramall Lane. So McCrory, and that was our deadline day signing. As you can see with the budget here, there was basically no money whatsoever to work with. We possibly could have got one cheap player on a pre-contract, but it was still unlikely, as there was very little money in the wages right now to offer someone a salary, plus there'd be no room for a sign or bonus either. So the signing of McCrory is the last thing we'd do. Atalanta, funny enough, the Serie A side did put in a bid for Ivan Toney. They wanted to pick up the shocker, but of course we said no, he's going absolutely nowhere. He's been brilliant since signing from the Posh in last January transfer window, and that would do it for transfer deadline day. See what the clubs did around the league in this January window. Of course, we signed proper on a free transfer and got McCrory in as well, so very little business done by us in January, and of course selling Luke Freeman and letting Basham go on a free transfer as well. You see the top deals there in the bottom right of the screen as well. And do you guys get this as well? I seem to get this every single transfer window. As soon as deadline day ends, we get a bid literally directly after, as soon as the window slams shut. So clearly a dodgy fax machine there. PSV putting a bid for Callum Robinson, our Irish striker, who is our top scorer in the Premier League this year. But I've mentioned Robinson before. He's a bit of a streaky scorer. You know, sometimes he'll go two or three games while scoring like 2 or 3 goals, and then for a few weeks just absolutely nothing. Hasn't scored a Premier League goal in quite a while now, although he did score in our last cup game against Norwich. We asked PSV for £17 million though, and they just walked out and said no, that was not worth the flight over to Sheffield. So yeah, he's going to be staying here, and I'm fine with that, because Robinson's a quick player, and if he does end up becoming our third choice striker behind McBurney and Toney, which is a real possibility, as an impact player with the pace he's got, I think he'd be a really good option off the bench. So Robinson's staying here, and to be honest, I'd rather keep him here. We're not a selling club. You know, Robinson was one of our best players, and we haven't been selling our best players since the series began. I don't want to change that. We're not a selling club here at Sheffield United. If a player's in good form, I'm not going to sell him. So yeah, Robinson stays, and I'm totally fine with that. So yeah, an academy update there, as you saw how our youth team is currently looking right now. Lots of good prospects in the academy, I must admit. Some really, really good talents there. There's a left back from the Ivory Coast, Serge Koulibaly, 15 years old, not ready to be promoted to the first team just yet, but I must admit, him and Shaw as our 1-2 for our left backs in this team, teenage talents, I've got to be honest, that's a really, really, really exciting prospect for me, because I'll show you his full stats if I can remember in the next episode. He's physically very good. He's got acceleration, he's got sprint speed, he's got strength. The Ivorian looks really talented, and playing understudy to Ollie Shaw, that would excite me quite a lot. But still, second and final game of today's episode here. As you saw, a quick run through of our team between now and the end of the season, and it would be Norwich City in the FA Cup 4th round replay here at Bramall Lane. Of course, just about avoiding the cup set at Carrow Road in the game a couple of weeks ago. Now taking them on here at home. Our home form of late has been very shaky. You saw the Norwich City players huddling up pre-game. They were sensing a cup set and a chance to reach the round of 16, and this game began at a great pace as well. Both teams going at it in the early stage, and just past the half an hour mark here, a golden chance for us to take the lead for the first time against the Canaries in the 2 games we faced against them. Toney going for goal, but Tim Krul, who was in inspired form in the first game against them, making a good save there, keeps it at 0-0 as we are still deadlocked. And in the 36th minute, Dermot, who missed a chance to send Norwich through in that game at Carrow Road, strikes the post as it's still 0-0. But Norwich at the breaks, you can see, had dominated possession, 58% of it, and 93% pass accuracy as well. They were knocking the ball around like prime Barcelona. It was so hard to get the ball off them, but with 20 minutes to go, as we were still tied at 0-0, Shaw attacks down the left-hand side, plays a 1-2 with Toney, gets in behind Sam Byram, and once Shaw's in behind the back line, forget about it, because you know he's going to pick out a teammate. And as you've seen all throughout the course of this season, the guy who he's been linking up with is this man, Oliver McBurney, who he celebrates with. I love this little celebration here, as we do take the lead with 20 minutes to go and get ourselves in front. Shaw to McBurney have combined for, I believe, 5 goals this season. That's extraordinary. What a partnership these two have got right now. Shaw to McBurney, name a better love story than Twilight, etc, etc, etc. 1-0 to Sheffield United. McBurney with the goal. He couldn't miss the open goal from 6 yards out, and there is the breakthrough. With 12 minutes to go, great chance to make it 2-0, as Tony was about to be played through one-on-one, but De Haan takes him down. It's an awful challenge from behind. Yes, he wins a lot of the ball, but only through coming through Ivan Toney, of course, as the last man. It's a straight red card. He didn't even need to see the colour of the card from the referee. He was already walking. He knew he was off, and after that dismissal, that was how the game would finish. We put a stop to their attacks in the second half. Daniel Farke's side are beaten. We do what Sylvester's been trying to do for decades and kill off the Canaries. I'm sure none of you will get that reference, but either way, it's 1-0. Sheffield United get the win, and finally we pick up a win at Bramwell Lane for the first time since the win against Cardiff in the FA Cup third round last month. We avoid the cup set, and we're into the last 16 of the FA Cup, just like we reached last season. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy the quadruple upload weekend, then please drop a like, and also leave a comment and comment "That's all, folks," if you got that reference and that terrible joke there. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love to you, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.